Peace, everybody. Welcome to the Vital Hoops podcast. My name is Fernando Cardenas, aka International XB, and I am your host. This is episode number 5, and our amazing guest today is Syra Sylla. Syra is first and foremost a basketball junkie. She has a master's in computer engineering, but her career quickly switched to basketball journalism and writing. Today, she's a communications manager in sports, and she works with NBA Africa. She works with K54, the world's greatest street ball tournament. She works with the EuroLeague Players Association, and that's just to name a few. But most importantly, Syra Sylla works with the community, with the people, and we're extremely blessed to have her on the show. So here we go. Peace, Syra. How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming on the show. Welcome to Vital Hoops.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Listen, before I start, I just want to let the listeners know that, people like you are the reason why we made this show, because it's like the way you're connected to the game and to the culture of basketball through many different angles. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's all about, the culture and the love for the game. So thank you again for being here.
Thanks.
No doubt. So listen, let's get right into it. I would love for you to start by, telling the listeners a little bit about how you fell in love with the game of basketball, and follow that up a little bit with, what basketball means to you,
Okay, that's a long story. Hope you have time.
Yeah, we have time. Don't worry.
So I first fell in love with basketball when I was about 18 years old. But It was pretty late because I know that in France people start playing basketball like early.
Yeah, I started when I was 6. So
yeah, so I was 18. I was not like doing any sports because we didn't have like times and money and everything with my parents. And then when I was 17, 18, one of my friends, she brings me to a basketball game and I loved it. And the day after, I went to practice with her in her basketball club. And that's how I started. And I started like pretty late, but I started like strongly and like with
you were all out.
Yeah, I was playing almost every day. The first year it was like, okay, just practice. But then I discovered that people were playing on playground outside. So I started to play outside every day, every weekend. We were going to tournaments with my friends. I was hooping with some guys in the house.
Okay, yeah.
And I was hooping with the guys. I was either hooping or just going with them, just like cheering and everything. So I was in basketball, like it was in 200%.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
And then I started to, so we were like doing a lot of things in tournaments in Switzerland, in the north of France. We were moving everywhere for basketball. Okay. So I started to write about that journey on a blog, about all the traveling we were doing. And then the people I was writing for on the blog, they asked me if I wanted to write in a magazine. Okay, so I started to write in the magazine, to do some interviews of players, to meet a lot of people.
So that's how you got into writing. Yeah, that's how you got. Okay.
I became a writer. Like I was doing mathematics and I'm someone who is in love with numbers. I used to hate writing, but when it was about basketball, I loved it. And that's how I became a journalist, basketball journalist. That's how I interviewed all the NBA players, all the EuroLeague players, like
that's amazing.
Women, men, everyone.
Yeah. Because it's not your typical, story of going to school for journalism and then coming out. So
no. And that's why I didn't say that I was a journalist at first. Okay. Like it took me a long time to say, okay, I'm a journalist. I was saying like, I'm someone who is writing about basketball. That's it. But I didn't want to say I'm a journalist because I felt that I didn't have the right path to go there.
Yeah.
But after the years, I realized that I was more journalist than some journalists.
You earned your stripes. You
Yeah,
earned your
I was
stripes, right?
going to the games. I was going to the games. I was watching NBA games. I was
No doubt.
playing. I was really in basketball. So people told me, you should say you're a journalist. And then I said I was a journalist. And I
Nice.
was trying to cover all basketball, the women, African basketball,
Yeah,
like basketball we don't talk about a lot,
exactly.
like
Yeah,
yes.
I feel you. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's great, man. So listen, yeah, and talk to me a little bit about what the game means to you. What does basketball mean to you? Because a lot of people just, like you said, some journalists, they just cover it. Some players they just kind of play. They go to practice. But some people really love it and they really live it. And I know you're one of those people. So tell me a little bit what does basketball mean to you?
It means it's cheesy to say that, but it means everything to me. Like when I was a kid, I was really shy. I was not talking to people. I didn't have many friends because like when I'm in a group of 5, 6 person, I don't want to talk. I just want to be invisible. And I was moving a lot with my father in different cities. So
Mm,
it was hard to me to have like friends. And I was really, really shy, like
right.
really shy. But with basketball, I had the opportunity to meet people who were sharing the same passion than me.
Uh-huh.
And it helps me to go to the people.
Right. Right.
Usually I'm waiting that people comes to me and say, hey, how are you? Everything. But if it's about basketball, I'm like another person.
Yeah, I feel you.
And for me, it's really like it means everything because what I'm doing today and even talking with you like in English here
Uh-huh.
on the podcast and everything I achieved through the years, I'm like sure at 100% that it's thanks to basketball. I know
Right.
that I used to want to be an engineer or doctor,
Okay.
but I know that it wouldn't have been the same without basketball. And I'm all every day I'm grateful for this life, for how I love what I'm doing and how I love what I was doing because now I'm in different things. And so when I say it means everything, it literally means
Yeah.
everything.
I feel you, yo. Sometimes, it might be because I'm a little biased, but I feel like us people who have been able to make a living out of the game and who really, not only that, but just really love the game and live it and live the culture. I feel like it's like no other sport. I don't see many other sports that were in which you're able to really live the culture the same way. It's also because I feel like basketball is also a part of hip hop culture, and hip hop is so influential to the world. You know what I mean? So it's different.
Yeah, and it's the whole like you say, it's the whole like it what is around it. It's not only the game, like
Exactly. Exactly.
not I might be biased like you.
Yeah.
I feel like some sport, it's only the sport and then
Exactly.
there's nothing around it. But with basketball, there, like you said, there's hip hop, there's what we are wearing, how we are talking, and it's all influenced by the United States.
Yeah.
And also basketball brought me that also, the traveling. I was
Yeah.
traveling everywhere for basketball.
Yeah.
And that's like I was choosing my holidays depending on what event was in the
Yeah.
city. Like I was in China of 1 month, and I was there because there were a big event there. I was in Greece for 1 year, and I
Okay.
chose Greece because there were a big Euroleague Final Four there. So
Right.
all my holidays, my cities were choosing depending on basketball,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's how basketball like was really important for me.
Yeah. And like you said, yeah, in the United States, that's where really the culture but blows up. But I feel like it's important to say that it's, Africans in the United States or people of African descent in the United States. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's what brings us, people of African descent from all over the world. That's what really connects us to it.
Sure.
Also that, it's other people of African descent that, that are able to prosper in the culture and in the game. You know what I mean? And that's what connects us all throughout the diaspora. But I would love for you to talk a little bit about, ladies in basketball. Please tell us a little bit about that, what it is that you all do. And I know it's an amazing collective and you guys do really great work, but please tell me a little bit about ladies in basketball.
Yeah, so Ladies in Basketball is a charity work organization.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we are five women. We were all in basketball. We met through basketball, through tournaments and through official games. And we were like talking one day and we realized how basketball directed our life
Mm-hmm.
in many ways. So I'm working in basketball, but the others are not. But at some point, basketball helped them in their life, like the personality, how when they were young, some of them were introverted, and thanks to basketball, they got like extroverted.
Mm,
And we were saying like if it helped us, it should be helping other people, other girls, but
definitely.
maybe they don't have the opportunities, or they don't see how basketball can help them and everything. And we were already working with some young girls because I founded a basketball club in Paris. So we knew that some girls were there, they wanted to play, but they didn't have the money to spend in basketball, in shoes, in everything. So we created this organization called Ladies in Basketball. And the goal is so there is many goals.
Okay.
One of them was to create a group of 15 girls and taking care of them a whole year. And when I say taking care, it's about school, helping them when they had some difficulties to learn some lessons.
Schoolwork
But
or other things. Yeah.
schoolwork,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But also and most importantly, it was about empowerment. So
Right.
wanted them to access to things that they couldn't have access to in their life through school or through their parents. So we were doing some cultural things like going to expositions, art, to a lot of cinema and everything. But we
Amazing.
also met a lot of women who were talking about what they were doing. We wanted them to realize what they had, what they could do when they were like grown girls. So
Okay.
to meet doctors, lawyers, like Black women who are
Right. Right.
lawyers,
Yeah.
doctors, journalists. Because
So
when
they
I met
so they
them
could
the
see
first time,
themselves. Yeah. So they could see
yeah,
themselves and know that.
when I met them the first time, I told them that I was a journalist, and they were like, "What? We never saw a Black woman as a journalist."
Wow.
And I realized that when I was young, I didn't think that I could be a journalist because also I didn't see that.
Right.
So I think that representation matters a lot.
Yeah.
And if you don't see something, you don't feel that you can be that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is to help them see what the world is offering, to be able to choose, and not to only say that I just can do this. Just they have to know that they can do everything
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they can be everybody.
That's good.
So this is what we do with ladies in basketball. And also we have another goal, which is to help women have access to sports
Mm-hmm.
in public space. Because when you go in outside on playgrounds and everything, you only see men. And like I said, when you don't see, you don't think. So if you
Right.
don't only see men on playground, you just think that women cannot be on playground, and that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we try to organize some activities on some playgrounds in Paris, and
Yeah.
we invite women to come. So if other women see us playing with women on playground, they just think that, oh, it's actually for women to be
Right.
on those public space.
Right. No
And
doubt. Yeah.
it also helps the men who are on the playground see them, see that we can be together on those playgrounds.
Yeah.
It's not only women time and men time, it could be women and men time.
For sure. And that women have game too, and that they can ball. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
I
that's
know
dope.
some women who have game.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. So, but yeah, listen, like you said, like when you talk about representation, yeah, I feel like it is very important, but I feel like especially for youth, you know, for young Black women, for young Black girls and young Black boys as well, representation is very important. But I feel like sometimes for us older people, it can be dangerous because I feel like sometimes representation is also used, you know, in certain ways to make us think that there's progress. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So I feel like, you know, having Black, for example, having Black faces in high places is not always progressive
yeah.
to our people. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
but
but
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
this is why we do those things.
Yeah,
So because they can see like black faces on screens and everything, they can do it.
yeah,
But with our activities, we do the things. Like
Right,
when
right.
I say that we met a journalist, I have a friend of mine, she's doing some documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
So we met her and then she came and they exchanged
Mm-hmm.
together, and then she did another documentary and the girls went to see we do the real things. I
Right.
think that representation matters, but it doesn't have to be like, we don't have to say that Serena Williams is representing her. It could be Syra Sylla representing us.
No doubt.
The
Yeah, yeah.
representation doesn't have to be like a high star of
Yeah,
people.
I
It
hear you.
can be just the girl who is just close to you.
That's a
She
good point.
might be like a big astronaut or I
Uh-huh.
don't know what.
That's a
And
good
this is
point.
what we do. We make the thing realistic
Yeah,
to the girls.
that's dope. Yeah, that's dope. That's really dope. Okay, no doubt. I hear you. And listen, real quick, you slid in there like it was nothing. You said, yeah, you were talking and you're like, yeah, I founded a club, blah, 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 blah. Hold on, hold on. You said you founded a club. Talk to me a little bit about that. Hold on. That's crazy. That's really crazy.
I founded the club. It was years ago in Paris because
Okay.
it was in an area in Paris 20, the 20th district.
Okay. Dans le 20e.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the name
And
of the club?
it's Paris Lady Basket. I want to say it because it didn't end it up well, but it's Paris
Oh,
Lady
so
Basket.
it doesn't exist anymore?
It does,
Okay.
but without me.
Ah, okay. I get you. I get
No, at that time I was, because I know a lot of, I was playing in Paris in a club,
you.
so
Okay.
I met a lot of girls, teams, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I don't really like in France is that so all people wants to develop men basketball,
Yeah.
and some people wants to develop women basketball, but they don't really want it because when you play in a club and it's mixed, so you have men and women, if one day one court is not available, the practice which will be cancelled will be the one of the women,
Yeah. I know. I hear
not the
you.
one of the men.
Mm-hmm.
And even if this is the woman practicing, they will say, okay, you have to let you the court to the men. And I don't really agree with it because you just we just keep showing the girls that they are not important. They can be here, but when there is some space, but they are not like the priority. So I decided to found a whole women club. So
Mm-hmm.
the priority will be women because it's only
Yeah.
women. So I did it with some friends. We started with young teams, and we grew up really fast. We had a lot of girls and women coming in the club, and that's how I realized that there is so many things to do even
Sure.
now, because there is a lot of teams, but it's still not enough because with the club we founded, we had so many girls coming, and one of the things that we were doing is that some of those girls they couldn't afford to play basketball with us because in France you have to pay to
Yeah, you
play.
have to pay the license. Yeah.
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 So the thing is, we were doing is that they were coming and they were referring and helping us with the club, and in exchange, they didn't have to pay.
They could have a license. That's
So this
dope.
is
That's a
how
good
we
idea.
got
Yeah.
them into it, and that's good because some of them became referees, and
Yeah, of course.
they didn't imagine themselves as referees, but they liked it, so they were helping us. So that's what was different with our club. We were doing basketball, but not only basketball. We were doing a lot of representation things around
Mm-hmm.
it, like exhibitions, a lot of things. We were talking with them because it happened when there were the terrorism attacks in
Okay.
France.
Yeah.
So we were gathering at the end of the practice, talking with them to know how they felt about it. A lot of them were Black, were Muslims.
Right.
A lot of attacks against Muslims.
Right.
So we
Of
were
course.
talking with them to try to understand how they were feeling and to show them that there were some spaces, safe
Mm-hmm.
spaces
For them.
that
Yeah.
were here, and they can be, we were heard, they're confident.
Right. That's amazing. So I can tell you're all about, empowerment,
Yeah,
especially for Black girls and Black women. And that's
yeah.
key. We need that. We need that. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think, or what do you feel like, us as men and as Black men, what do you feel like are the best ways we can support and help empower Black women in general, but also in basketball to bring the women's game forward? You know, what do you think are some of the things that we can, how we can
I
really
think there are
contribute in the best ways?
mm, I think there are some simple things to do. And the
Mm-hmm.
first one is to accept the girls and the women,
Mm-hmm.
to bring them with you in your circle
Mm-hmm.
because you have access, opportunities to everything.
Right.
And you need to have, the woman needs to, it's not, we don't do, I do a lot of things that like only women allowed, like the club, it was a whole woman. Ladies and basketball, it's only women. The thing is not to do women in one side and men in one side. It's to offer a space, a safe space to the women so they can get confident. And once they have this confidence, they can mix with men.
No doubt.
Because
Yeah.
they have this confidence, they need to
Yeah.
to be with men.
Yeah.
So I think you can help by supporting.
Yeah.
When we do activities, we have a lot of coaches that are men because we have to show the girl that we are not against men.
Right.
So you can support through helping us.
Yeah.
I have some friends who are supporting by helping us financially, and also to show the girls how it is that some men can respect the girl.
Yeah.
So to have a great behavior when you are around the girls, and you also need to go to the women who are around you to ask them, but really ask them how they feel, what you can do for them.
Right.
I think this is the best way. The best way to know how you can help is to ask the
Right.
people you want to help.
No
So
doubt.
go to the women who are around you, even if you think that they are good, that they are doing a lot of things, and they will tell you what they need at this moment and what they can do if they have some issues, if they don't, but if you can help in doing something. And you also need to when there is something wrong about one girl, you need to show up and show that you don't agree with it. So if, I don't know, we were taking the example of if there is a woman playing and then some men need a court, it's not right to say to the woman, okay, you just have to leave the court so the men can practice. You have to show up and say, okay, let them play, and when they are finished, then we can play.
No doubt. Yeah, for sure. I hear you. I think also sometimes, men have more visibility. So, just, sharing what the women are doing sometimes,
like you're doing
is
now.
important. Yeah, no doubt.
Like you have a podcast and you're inviting, you are inviting women, and sometimes it's not, when I was a journalist, it was not like normal to have a woman talking about basketball.
Right.
And I felt it because some of my colleagues, I know that they were thinking, okay, what do you know about basketball? And they didn't know that I was watching games every night and then playing in the morning, and that I knew all the players. And so they were like, okay, you can talk about basketball, about some story, like say some story, but not the game like analysis and everything. But I knew the game, so I could talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I think to the media, journalists and everything, to give a platform to the women to talk about basketball and to show that they can talk about basketball is something really great.
Yeah, that's
Thank
true.
you for inviting me.
Oh no, thank you for being here. And I may, if I may add also, like I feel like when there is progress, when there's a little bit of progress for women, a lot of the times it's not necessarily Black women, so that's another thing that I think we need to point out. You know what I'm saying is that, but anyway, let's talk a little bit about, you're joining us straight from Dakar, Senegal, right?
Yeah.
So I would love for you to talk to me a little bit about the game over there, basketball over there in Senegal, especially in Dakar. I know you're playing right now for club, right? And but just in general, how's the game over there for both men and women? And if there's a street ball scene also, like how is that,
So people are passionate about basketball here. It's crazy because we know that football is everywhere in Africa. They love football. They love everybody loves football.
Yeah, it's the
But
game.
here
It's the
in
national.
Senegal, everybody loves basketball also. You have courts everywhere, even if it's not like great courts.
Right.
But they are still here and people are playing. So I'm playing with a group of people. We have so the difference with friends is that you don't have like championship for the not professional people.
Okay.
So it's either you play professional or you just play outside with some friends.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the United States, kind of.
Exactly the same. but the level is like lower than the NBA. We don't have the NBA, but the culture, like the people here in Africa, like you said, Africa and the US, the influence
Yeah.
comes from the US, but also from Africa, and you can feel it here. So you can feel here that all the culture, like the music and the people are wearing NBA jerseys, and so it's a whole vibe here in Dakar, and especially now that we have the BAL, the Basketball Africa League here in Africa.
Yeah.
We had one stage of 15 days in Dakar. It was
Uh-huh.
really great. People were going to the game, and we organized a tournament actually at this time. So it
Yeah.
was a quick tournament. We organized it in like 4 days, and I had so many people who wanted to play. It was really cool. And it's hot here, so we all play outside. So it was cool. We were playing outside, music, everybody was chilling, food, like the
Nice.
real summertime, but the whole year. You can do this the whole year as
Of
well.
course. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful
So we
weather.
have, yeah, we have the BL. We have less women who are playing,
Okay.
but there are a lot of women playing in clubs, like professional, but less outside. But there are still some young ladies who are playing. I'm like launching ladies in basketball here in Dakar because we have the youth. So we have a lot of, it's a whole vibe here in Dakar. And it's close to France, what I was
Yeah. Yeah.
feeling, how I was feeling in Paris, but maybe it's not, they have less like not money, but they have less maybe power because of the
That's right.
whole
Yeah.
culture here.
Yeah.
But it's a whole vibe, and I hope I'll be able to do a lot of things here.
Yeah. That's dope, man. So, but let's talk a little bit about the ball, the Basketball Africa League. You know,
Yeah.
I see it. I see it growing. I see it. And I know. I think the playoffs for this season are starting now, right? This Saturday, I think
Yeah.
they start this Saturday in Kigali, I believe. So, but I know there was the beginning of the season was in Dakar, right? There was a part in
Yeah.
Dakar. So, yeah. So I'm sure that excited the people a little bit, right? And
Yeah,
everything
and they
around.
did all the things to bring people in the. We have one arena. I think it's kind of far from Dakar, far
Okay.
from the city,
Yeah.
but people were going there at the weekend, and
Uh-huh.
it's new, so we have to like educate people and just keep talking about the BAL so people can be used to go to the games and everything. But for the first season, I think they did good. The arena was filled up the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and there were still people going there on the in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
especially that we had one team representing
Right.
Senegal.
Right. Right.
They didn't go to the playoffs, but
Yeah. Yeah. I
they,
saw that they had a
yeah,
bit of a rough season. I saw.
yeah,
They had a
but they
rough.
had good games. So,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people like basketball here. So even
Yeah.
if there's not like a Senegal team,
Yeah.
they are still supporting. So I hope they'll be coming back next year. But I think so because their office is in Dakar. So, but
Yeah.
that's cool. And Saturday the playoffs are starting in Kigali in Rwanda.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's gonna be dope. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. I'm gonna be checking
Mhm.
that out. Um, for those of you that don't know, you can check out the games online. So definitely log on and check out the Basketball Africa League.
The good thing with the Basketball Africa League is that we have a real league here, like
Uh,
an NBA league. So now when I talk to the guys who are around who are playing basketball, who wants to be professional, they don't say I want to play in Europe. They
right.
just say I want to be in BAL
That's
or in
dope.
the NBA.
And
Yeah,
that
it's a
that was
good thing.
yeah, that
And
was the goal.
yeah,
That's what it was. That's why it was made, I believe.
yeah.
That's really
People
dope.
just realize that they can play
At home.
without leaving,
Yeah.
even if they
And
want to
and
play
and I
NBA, but
think
like
yeah, yeah,
most
yeah.
of
But I think
them,
it's also gonna bring, brothers and sisters from the diaspora to want to come play
yeah.
home to Africa,
Yeah.
So that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah, for
have a lot
sure.
of friends who were playing in France, and now
Mm,
they're like, "How can we play there? How is it?" They want to know what is happening there, so
yeah,
how they can maybe play
for sure.
and come back here.
No doubt. That's amazing. So listen, we're almost running out of time, but before we go, I would love for you to we have this segment here where it's called I recommend, So every time we come on, I feel like one of the things that we're not doing enough in our society, is reading books. I feel like a lot of people get their information from short clips on YouTube or even Instagram, and then now they think they know something, but they're not really studying the books. And I feel like, especially us African people and people of the African diaspora, we need to be, you know, checking out the books and getting our knowledge, because, it's important. So if there's any book, that you could recommend the listeners, it doesn't have to be about basketball, but it could be, or just a good book, to for the listeners.
So there's a lot of books because I love books.
Okay.
But the first one I have in mind, it might be because I read it at least once every 3 months. It's a Senegalese woman who wrote it, and it's called Une si longue lettre. So in English, it's a so long letter. Okay. And it's about a woman who just lost her husband, and she's talking about how she lived her life as a woman in Senegal. So it's a lot about tradition and culture, but it's a whole feminism vibe in the book. And I really love it. And it's really short. It's like 2 pages. You can
easy read. Okay.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days. And it's like a letter. So when you read it, you are into it and you want to know what is happening at the end and everything. So it's kind of cool. So I have this one in mind.
What's the name of the writer? You said?
Mariam Abba.
Okay.
Mariam Abba, yeah. I have this one in mind. That's the first one who popped up in my...
That's great. That's a good recommendation. No doubt. So myself, for today's recommendation, I want to do Assata Shakur's autobiography.
I read it.
And Assata Shakur's autobiography, I think it's amazing. She wrote it in Cuba, actually, and it gets a little bit into, her days with the Black Panthers and with the Black Liberation Army. And it's an amazing read. I think it's an important read for everybody, especially us people, African people, so
I love it.
Yeah, you loved it? Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one, no doubt. So Assata Shakur, check out her biography. It's called Assata, I believe, Assata. So listen, before we go, this is your time, Syra. Thank you for being here. Please just tell the listeners anything that you got going on, anything that you're working on, and how they can follow you, online, your websites, your Instagram, whatever. It's all you.
So going on like Ladies in Basketball in Dakar, so launching, helping some young girls to go through the life, I try to empower them like we did in Paris, but here in Dakar. So helping financially, helping through support, through sharing. Sharing is supporting. It's really easy. It's free. It's 1 second. So sharing is supporting. On Instagram, we have Ladies in Basketball, also on Twitter and Facebook. And try to launch something here with basketball. So I'm working on a big tournament and then on a summer league in Dakar. I hope it will be cool. If you want to support, if you have a brand and want to be a sponsor, you can just reach out. And I'm on the social media, the Lady Hoop on Instagram, Lady Hoop with 3 O on Twitter. And that's it, I think.
For sure. Everybody, please check it out.
But most importantly, Ladies in Basketball.
Okay, no doubt. Ladies in Basketball, check it out. The Lady Hoop. Please follow Syra Sylla and show some love, support. You know what I mean? This is what Vital Hoops is all about, inspiring and empowering. So thanks a lot, Syra.
Thank you.
Much love. Peace. All right. That's a wrap for episode number 5. Listen, Syra Sylla she is amazing. So everybody, please check her out. Check out her work, support her work, follow her. All her info is gonna be down on the description of the show. And that's what Vital Hoops is all about, inspiring and empowering, you know what I mean, through the game of basketball. So thank you all of you who are listening, who are downloading, who are commenting, who are liking. Please continue to share, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Vital Hoops Podcast, on Twitter at Vital Hoops Pod, and stay connected. Always remember, Vital Hoops is for the culture.